So our next speaker, Farzad Sedghipour, is a foresight strategist who empowers organizations to make better happen. Farzad's strengths include his ability to teach others how to bend matter with their minds. He will probably have to show us how to do that today, as well as his human-centered skills in better connecting organizations with their customers and employees to create preferable futures. His presentation is entitled Play to Perform: Why is Play the Future of Work?
Thank you, Simon. And thank you all for being here. I really love how Herman Miller tries to make the workplace more human-centered and hopefully more playful as well, which is where I'm trying to go. So everyone, are you ready to rock? Play? Okay, good. So let's play a game then. I want you all to play an imagination game with me, just for 30 seconds. I want you all to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine, go ahead, close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that you won the Lotto 649 ticket tonight that's on for $25 million. Can you see it? Can you see how that's making you feel? That the world of opportunities lies before you? What are you going to do now? What does the rest of 2017 look like to you? Okay, you can open your eyes now. Yeah. So how many of you imagine that you're going to go to work next week and write emails and schedule meetings and get all excited about those kind of work stuff? And how many of you thought you might do something different, like have fun and engage with people in meaningful ways and do all sorts of creative things that you always wanted to do? Great. I'm one of those people as well. So this is the question that I wanted to understand. Like, do we have to wait until we become millionaires in order to be able to have fun with our work? Or can we find more of what we love to do in the work that we do every day? So, before you is that guy, that's me actually. That was me in 2012. I won a senior economist role in the government of Canada. It was a 6-figure salary annual position with a full pension. If nothing else, it meant that I would never have to worry about my economic survival again. And yet, that's when I realized that I have to leave. My family thought I was crazy. So why did I leave? I liked certain aspects of my work, but 3 key ingredients were missing. One was that my role was not defined by me. That was decided by my manager and my union. The second was that my organizational culture was competitive and rife with conflict. And the third was that even though my organization said that they loved new ideas, I knew they had a very low appetite for that sort of thing. So I left. And then I realized that I wasn't alone. 70%. That's the number of people in Canada and the United States that are not engaged in their work every day. Okay? Think about that. If that meant if we were like a hockey team, the only 2 people playing at all, in a way you would expect them, are the center and the goalie. The forwards are there drinking Gatorade and chatting it up with the ladies, and the defensemen are getting into fights and being locked up for minutes on end. In fact, the only way you could expect a company like that to survive is that every other company was dysfunctional, just like that. So can we not do better than that? That inquiry led me to a startling discovery. We have this incredible social technology whose purpose is to help us connect more meaningfully with our work and each other, and we're not using it. What's that technology? Well, in a word, play. So there are a lot of misnomers. When I was growing up, I was told that work and play were different things. But Mark Twain tells us otherwise. Work and play are words used to describe the same thing under differing conditions. Work is what you're obligated to do, and play is what you do for its own sake, without an end in mind. The characteristics of play are that it's voluntary, it's intrinsically motivated, it's imaginative, it puts us in an active state of mind, we're not stressed by it, and our engagement in it is mutual. Let me give you an example of what play is not and what play is. If someone is harassing you or threatening you in any way, and you confront them and they say, hey, I'm just playing around, they are completely violating the definition of play, okay? Which is that your engagement in it is voluntary and mutual. So what is play? You guys remember that TDC bus driver? You know the one I'm talking about, the guy who sings and tells jokes to the customers even though no one is paying him an extra dime for it? That is play. The kind of play that I'm talking about will help you transform your experiences at work. So the science of play is remarkable. This is Deci and Ryan's, they're both psychologists, leading psychologists. This is their motivation spectrum. And they define, so these are the motivations that bring us to work. Inertia, economic pressure, emotional pressure, potential, and purpose. Those 5 are all extrinsic motivators for coming to work. Play is the only intrinsic motivator we have, and it's about twice as powerful as the next leading one, purpose. Who here uses Encarta? Did you know that they are the most accurate encyclopedia we've ever had? Did you also know that their business model is based on play? So back in the 1990s, we had Encarta. Did I say Encarta? Yeah, I'm in Wikipedia the first time. So back in the 90s, we had Encarta, and you know, they were really well funded. They're supported by one of the biggest companies we know, Microsoft. They have well-paid managers. They have a whole organizational plan, a whole organizational structure behind creating an encyclopedia. Then comes along Wikipedia. They have a completely different model. Do it for fun, they say. Do it because you love it. No one gets paid a penny, a euro, or a yen. This is the titanic battle between extrinsic motivators and intrinsic motivators. This is the thriller of Manila. And who wins? Intrinsic motivators by a knockout. Microsoft Encarta is now discontinued, and Wikipedia is one of the top 10 websites that's visited throughout the world. And finally, all the books on creativity that I came across told me the same thing. That play is key to generation of new ideas and creative thinking. Why? Well, the neuroscience shows us that play actually stimulates nerve growth and activity in both the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, the areas of our brain that are associated with empathy and IQ. One of the medical researchers says, nothing rejuvenates and lights up the brain up like play. So in fact, all living things are playful, and it's not a coincidence that some of the most playful on land, in the air, water, and land, crows, dolphins, and primates such as us, are also the most intelligent. Yet I think we've lost our sense of play. Dr. Stuart Brown writes it as such: if we had a simple test for play like we do for diabetes or high blood pressure, we could look at a number and realize that we are in danger. But we don't have such a test, and instead we have a soldiering play deficient sense that something is missing in life, and that we are not getting the feeling of joy and energy that we once did. When you are playful, or in a state of play, you become flexible, collaborative, curious, engaged, kind, excited. And when you're serious all the time and you're not getting play in life, you become rigid, competitive, joyless, disengaged, a workaholic, and prone to anxiety and depression. What was that warning from the movie The Shining? So play starts by changing our mindset towards how we see our work. Let me share another personal story. One of my responsibilities at home is to clean the bathroom, and I find it dreadful, or I used to. Then one time I'm doing this research, and I'm like, I'm going to change the approach that I take. So I bring my stereo into the bathroom with me, and I give myself a challenge. I'm only going to use my left weaker arm. And so I turn the music on, and I'm dancing, and I'm using my left arm and getting into it, and 20 minutes later, I realize that I'm lying on the floor of the bathroom that I just cleaned, and I'm wiping the grimiest, dirtiest part, and I don't mind at all. In fact, I was excited to do it. Needless to say, my spouse was quite amused and happy that I was now playing in the washing bathroom. So the important distinction I want to make here is that it's not what you do, but your relationship to what you do that's important. Play flourishes when you put your identity into your work, and not just do it out of external obligation or instruction. Play is the principle behind Google's 20% time, and Dan Pink's purpose, mastery, and autonomy. What Steve Jobs is saying here is if you force new hires to conform to other people's standards of what the work should be, you will deprive yourself and your organization of vitality and new ideas. So what can you do? 1, encourage play from the bottom up. Ask your employees to put themselves in how they do their work. Southwest Airlines, for example, tells flight attendants to deliver their safety announcements in a way that's unique and authentic to them. Some of them tell jokes, some of them rap through it. This really connects them to the work that they do and the passengers. And Southwest has become the leading airline company in services as a result. Another point, don't give your staff predefined offices. Instead, give them $100 and say, why don't you decorate your office or create something about you in this office space? Maybe go talk to the people at Herman Miller, they can help you. And encourage your staff to reflect on what play means for them and their work, and ask them to do one thing every quarter to make the office more fun. Even if some of them take you up on your offer, I guarantee you that overall your organization is going to improve in its organizational culture. 2, this is very important. You need to encourage play from the top down. People don't play unless they feel that they're in an environment that's safe to play. We're social creatures. Okay, so you need to signal your buy-in and support. Create a play section in your company's annual report and dedicate a play champion to it. The sum of your employees' reflections, cultural improvements, and new initiatives to develop play can all be discussed here. This is kind of like the corporate social responsibility section. In fact, or the corporate, you can call it the corporate play section or the CPR section, because play literally breathes life into your organizational culture. And finally, if it's going to be valued, Dan Pink told me, then you need to measure the ROI of play. You just helped your people discover play and gave them $100 each to enhance their offices. What impact is that having on your engagement levels, your employee retention, your collaborations, your idea generation, prototyping, and reduced workplace anxiety and sick leave? Remember, the benefits of play are not only about execution, but about experience and how well your people adapt to change. You've all heard of the study that showed that design-driven companies such as Nike, Apple, and Starbucks earn 228% returns over the S&P average. Well, in the future, the design value index is going to be replaced by the play value index, because you can't have a dynamic organization without play. Thank you.